Starting a YouTube channel and starting a successful YouTube channel in 2021 are two very different things. And it doesn't matter if you're starting a brand new channel for the first time, you're starting a second channel, or maybe you just want to start all over again with the channel that you already have but started off the right way. You're going to need some really good tips to get you through the next year. So in this video, we're going to dive through the no BS tips on how to start a successful YouTube channel in 2021, along with how to gain your first 1,000 YouTube subscribers in 6 months.
Thanks for helping us build this community. I really appreciate it. Today's shout out winner goes to this channel right here. And if you would like a shout out in our next video, make sure to comment down below or take a screenshot of you watching this one and tag us over on Instagram.
Okay, so I'm sure you've heard things like pick a niche, make sure you know your target audience, stay consistent on YouTube if you really want to grow fast. See, those are those BS tips I'm talking about that you're going to hear from other channels on how to grow your YouTube channel in 2021. And don't get me wrong, those are some really good tips on how to start a YouTube channel. But if you want to start a successful YouTube channel, you're going to have to start with tip number 1. And if you're watching this video, you're already off to a good start because that tip number 1 is to educate yourself on how YouTube works. And of course, understanding how the algorithm works is part of educating yourself on how YouTube works. But it goes beyond that, because if you don't have education on basic editing skills, storytelling ability, or even how to film a video, well, it doesn't matter if YouTube pushes your video out to new people. If that person isn't engaged or entertained by your video, they're going to quickly click off your video and YouTube's going to be like, oh, this video is trash. And then they're not going to show it to any other person. And of course, all of these things do not need to be perfected if you want to start a channel, but having the basic understanding of how all of these things work will help you out so much more. And you always hear people that say just start, and that's true, you should just start. But if you don't continue to educate yourself after you just start, well, you're going to be stuck at zero forever. It took me 6 months to realize that I needed some basic education on how the algorithm worked, along with how to actually make a YouTube video. And once I did that, I saw tremendous growth within my YouTube channel. Okay, now I know I said pick a niche was one of those BS tips that a lot of people were going to tell you about, and I'm about to tell you how to pick a niche. But I'm not going to just tell you how to pick a niche. I'm going to tell you what's the difference between picking a niche and narrowing down your niche if you really want to grow in 2021. So for instance, if you pick your niche and say, I'm going to be a college lifestyle vlogger, well, that's great. That's a great start to starting your YouTube channel. But to start a successful YouTube channel, you're going to have to narrow that down a little bit more, because there's a ton of videos that you can be making that has to deal with college lifestyle. But if you just make a variety of different content without really narrowing it down, you're going to be like a goldfish in a sea of sharks. You're just going to get drowned out and nobody's going to notice you because it's too competitive out there. Instead, you want to focus on one key area within that lifestyle vlog. So maybe you can talk about saving money in college or some budgeting hacks that you can do. Now what you've done is you just narrow down that pool of competition that's out there, and you're no longer a goldfish in a sea, but maybe you're a shark in a kiddie pool, which is a lot easier to get seen and get picked by new audience members, which will then help the algorithm recommend your videos faster to more people. But your viewers are going to actually see you as more of an authority within your niche, because you talk about all things budget saving, and if they're looking for ways to save money in college, you're going to be that go-to person because you're that specialized content creator within that niche. It's the difference between going to a specialized skincare store versus going to Target. And if you really want to grow a successful channel even faster, a little bonus is to talk about what no one else is talking about within that niche. Really see what is missing. What is that one thing no one's talking about? What are those one tips that nobody wants to give out? Give out those tips, because it's going to really set you apart, because they're going to say, wow, you're exactly the channel I was looking for. No one else talks about this type of stuff. And they're definitely going to recommend you to more people. And with them recommending and sharing your content along with YouTube recommending you, you're going to grow a lot faster in 2021. Okay, and that brings me to tip number 3, which is to make sure you have a really strong content strategy before your first video goes live on your channel. Again, getting started and just publishing that first video is the very first step you need to do when it comes to starting a YouTube channel, but having a really strong content strategy before you even go live is that difference between starting a channel and starting a successful channel. You want to make sure you're doing research on the niche that you've chosen, especially on that narrowed down niche, to see what's being searched a lot, what's trending currently in my niche, what videos can I make right now that's going to attract a ton of viewers to my videos and to my channel. And I always say your first video should not be a welcome to my channel. You want your very first video to be the ultimate authority setter within your niche. Whatever is trending right now or whatever is highly searched in your niche, make make that video first. All right, and a part of that content strategy actually brings me to tip number 4. And that's not only to deliver on what you promise, but to over deliver on what you promise. That thing we promise is written all over our title, all over our thumbnails and our description box. It's basically what we're telling the viewer that our videos are about. So for example, if you said how to make a homemade birthday cake and within the first minute you're opening up a Betty Crocker box and pouring an instant made birthday cake into a bowl, well, that's not delivering on what you promised because that's not homemade. Now, on the other hand, if you said something like decorating a store-bought cake, and then if you show them how to turn a $5 cake into like this gorgeous wedding cake that looks professionally made, that's over delivering. They're gonna be astounded by what you just created, how easy it was, how well you walked them through so they can do the same thing, and they're most likely gonna subscribe because you over delivered on the value that you promised. All right, to bring it right back around to tip number 1, which is educating yourself on how YouTube works, this wouldn't be a navigating YouTube video if I didn't talk about search, because I'm all about helping content creators rank in search and grow organically. So tip number 5 is to make searchable content. And I know this sounds like one of those BS tips I promised I wasn't gonna give you, but you guys, this is not BS. There is an importance to why I talk about searchable content so much. Something that you have to understand, and if you do not get this in 2021, you're not gonna ever get this. YouTube is a search engine. It's actually the second largest search engine in the world, owned by the first, which is Google. And if you wanna get seen, you have to play up to YouTube's search engine. And you have to understand that the YouTube algorithm is trained to match a viewer's inquiry to a content creator's video. And then of course, combining that really good searchable content and SEO with making sure you're educating yourself on how the YouTube algorithm works, along with editing and making videos in general, narrowing down your niche, having a really strong content strategy, and over delivering on the value that your video provides will definitely be a powerhouse when it comes to starting a successful YouTube channel in 2021. All right, but let me know in the comments below what niche you're in or what niche you're going to be in starting in 2021. And for more simple strategies on how to grow a successful YouTube channel in 2021, you can go ahead and check out the video on your screen. Also have it down in the pinned comments below. Now get out there, make some content, let's grow together.